Welcome back to the Park TV Weekly News Show. My name is Humaira and my co-hosts today are Fred, Victoria, and Jabin. Today I'm presenting news that impacts the Regent Park and the surrounding communities. In this episode, we present the following news for the week of June 3rd to June 19, 2022. In today's episode, we are going to be covering the following headlines. City of Toronto announces the recipients of Redefining Regent Park Youth Leadership Grant. The City of Toronto will be hosting the community consultation meeting on June 9th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Ontario PC leader Doug Ford wins 2022 elections and NDP Kristyn Wong-Tam wins in Toronto Centre. Robin Buxton Potts is appointed as intern city council for Ward 13 Toronto Centre. Man unfortunately shot multiple times in St. Jamestown on Thursday, June 2nd. Housing advocates to encourage Toronto to keep rent grant program alive. Federal government announced funds for women shelters. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has proposed a ban on buying and selling handguns. City of Toronto releases Pandemic Perspective video series. Team Toronto has administered 7.1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses. 66% of eligible Torontonians aged 18 and older have now received their third dose. After those following headlines, I'm going to be covering the COVID vaccination updates in the Regent Park and surrounding community areas, as well as coming to you with all jobs and events taking place within the next week.
City of Toronto announces the recipients of Redefining Regent Park Youth Leadership Grant. City of Toronto is pleased to announce the recipients of Redefining Regent Park Youth Leadership Grant. The Redefining Regent Park Youth Leadership Grant was developed through a private donation by Chris Brillinger to fund programs in Regent Park. Chris Brillinger was a former employee of the City of Toronto. City of Toronto Community Funding Unit received 12 applications totaling to $869,968 in requested investments. The Youth Application Review Committee, with the support of City of Toronto staff, recommended 4 projects with funding totaling $250,000. Here's information about each of the projects. Mental Health Matters, in partnership with Youth Empowering Parents, receives $70,000. Mental Health Matters aims to educate and enhance the mental health and well-being of Regent Park youth between the ages of 15 to 25 by providing a safe space for dialogue, increasing mental health awareness, providing support, and capacity-building opportunities. Dear Future Me, in partnership with the Neighborhood Group, receives $70,000 for the Resilience Program. This project focuses on the building confidence, leadership, and resiliency skills for youth between the ages of 12 to 14, with a focus on socio-emotional learning. This project will provide capacity building and workshops and hands-on learning opportunities and real-life application of skills. 6 youth ambassadors will lead the coordination of 6 youth-identified projects/events to further animate Regent Park. The Regent Park Youth Collaboration, in partnership with Toronto Inner City Rugby Foundation, receives $70,000 for the Regent Park Neighborhood Rugby Club. This project focuses on peer-to-peer mentorship through the sport of rugby. The Regent Park Youth Collaboration Team will design a comprehensive Leaders in Training program that will provide opportunities for meaningful service, promotes youth civic engagement. This program will also provide free weekend rugby programming for Regent Park school-aged children. FEM, Female Empowerment Magazine Meetup, in partnership with Focus Media Arts Center, receives $40,000 for the FEM Collective. This project will be providing leadership opportunities for young women between the ages of 14 to 18 through journalism, photography, and creative writing. Participants will be creating an online magazine centering on experiences and interests of young women residing in Regent Park. City of Toronto would like to thank the 10 youth that participate in the grant design and review for all their amazing work.
The City of Toronto will be hosting the community consultation meeting on June 9th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The City of Toronto Planning Division has received an application to amend the zoning bylaw for Regent Park Phases 4 and 5. The proposal will permit 13 buildings with heights up to 38 stories containing approximately 2,973 residential units, of which 1,792 will be market units and 1,181 will be Toronto community housing rental units. The proposal also includes approximately 13,721 square meters of retail, office, and community space, including a new Toronto Public Library branch relocated from Parliament Street. A new central plaza is proposed as well as other open spaces throughout phases 4 and 5. According to a recently launched website by Toronto Community Housing Corporation, TCHC, and Tridel Builders, Inc., the rezoning submission with the City of Toronto requested an increase in the density of development in the Regent Park Phases 4 and 5 lands. The increased density will enable TCHC and Tridel to build 1,000 more units of housing than previously planned for and add thousands of square meters of gardens, retail, and community space. The City invites you to join the virtual community consultation meeting to learn more about this planning application and have your say. It will take place on Thursday, June 9 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For more information about how to join the meeting and how to participate, visit toronto.ca/how to engage online. If you have any questions about the community consultation meeting or are unable to attend, please contact Catherine Bailey, the City Planning staff, or the Councilor's office with your comments and questions at catherine.bailey@toronto.ca or guard13@toronto.ca.
Ontario PC leader Doug Ford wins 2022 election. NDP Kristyn Wong-Tam wins in Toronto Centre. The Ontario Generally Elections was held on June 2, 2022 to elect members of the Provincial Parliament to serve in the 43rd Parliament of Ontario. The governing Progressive Conservatives, led by Premier Doug Ford, were re-elected to a second majority government, winning 7 more seats than they had won in 2018. It's the first time the Conservatives have won back-to-back majorities since Mike Harris did it in 1995 and 1999. The NDP retained their status as the official opposition, despite losing seats and finishing 3rd in the popular vote, while the Ontario Liberals finished 2nd in the popular vote, but only won 8 seats, falling short of official party status. The Green Party retained their 1 seat they won in 2018, while the New Blue and Ontario Party failed to win a seat, both losing their lone sitting MPPs. The election set a record for the lowest voter turnout in an Ontario provincial election. Only 43% people were eligibly voted. This broke the previous record, 48.2%, in the 2011 election. Not only have the Conservatives returned to power, but they will increase their seat count at Queen's Park, leading or elected in 83 of the province's 124 ridings, well beyond the 63 required for a majority. Ford himself easily won re-election in the riding of Etobicoke North, concerning the heart of so-called Ford Nation, while a slew of PC cabinet ministers will also be returning to Queen's Park. Ford said he will spend the next 4 years working for all Ontarians.
Thank you for your trust, and thank you for once again putting your confidence in me. It's a responsibility that I will never take lightly. But most importantly, thank you for sharing in a vision for our great province. Sharing in a dream of a bright and prosperous future, an era of unprecedented growth and opportunity. This is what we're working for. This is what the Ontario dream is all about. And my promise to you, you have my word, that every single day I will get up and I will get to work and I will do everything in my power to deliver on this dream.
While NDP leader Andrea Horwath was re-elected in Hamilton Centre, and her party will be the official opposition of Queen's Park. Horwath said after 4 tries at becoming premier, it was time for her to pass the torch and step down.
And my commitment to you is never going to waver. And I'm going to keep working to earn your confidence each and every day. I'm going to keep doing that. But tonight, it's time for me to pass the torch, to pass the baton, to hand off the leadership of the NDP. And you know what? It makes me sad, but it makes me happy because our team is so strong right now. So strong.
The Liberals will also be searching for a new leader after Stephen Del Duca said the party would be moving forward without him after he lost in the riding of Vaughan-Woodbridge, and the party itself failed to make any measurable gains from 4 years ago, failing to regain party status.
I informed our party president of my decision to step down from the leadership of our party, and I have asked him to meet with the executive to set a leadership contest for as soon as is reasonable.
In Toronto Centre riding, former Toronto City Councilor Kristyn Wong-Tam of the Ontario New Democratic Party was declared the winner with 44.01% of 14,046 ballots. David Morris, Liberal, was in second with 35.38% of votes, and Jess Godard, PC, was in third with 12.99%. Thank you for the residents of Toronto Centre for entrusting me as your next MPP. I am ready to be your champion at Queen's Park. I cannot wait to do this work together, Wong-Tam wrote on her Twitter account. Wong-Tam's projected win in Toronto Centre is a little more expected. The riding had been previously represented by NDP Susan Morrison in the last provincial parliament.
Robin Buxton Potts is appointed as interim city councilor for Guard 13, Toronto Centre. City Council on Wednesday, June 1st, appointed Robin Buxton Potts to replace former Guard 13 Toronto Centre councilor Kristyn Wong-Tam, who resigned to run in the provincial election. Robin Potts was chief of staff in Wong-Tam's council office and will serve until the October 24 civic election, but will not run for office to try to stay at City Hall. Buxton Potts said she learned how to be councilor working for Wong-Tam since 2019. Potts said she plans to hand off constituency files to the Guard winner of the fall election in a very clean, thorough transition.
I am greatly honored to have the endorsement of former Councillor Wong-Tam in this role, but I also have the support of our local residents associations. In my conversations with them, explaining my intention to run for interim councillor, they all agreed that this would be the best path forward for our community. In those conversations, I also promised them that I would not run in the October election for this role. My intention is fully to be a caretaker and to provide a thorough transition to whoever the Ward 13 constituents duly elect.
Toronto City Council also appointed Joe Mehev, a councillor for 27 years until his defeat in the 2018 civic election, to replace Joe Cressy, who recently quit his Guard 10 Spadina Fort York seat to work at George Brown College.
Man shot multiple times in St. Jamestown on Thursday, June 2nd. A man is fighting for his life in hospital after he was shot multiple times in Toronto St. Jamestown area on Thursday night. Toronto police say they were called to Wellesley Street East between Ontario Street and Rose Avenue at 10:32 p.m. for reports of the sound of gunshots. They arrived to find a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Paramedics rushed him to a hospital trauma center where he remains. No suspect information was made available by investigators. Housing advocates encouraging Toronto to keep rent grant program alive. Housing advocates are encouraging the City of Toronto to make a rent grant program that helps those who are facing eviction permanently. The Toronto Rent Bank was originally a program that issued interest-free loans to low-income households. Still, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was converted into a grant program for a one-year pilot. Since the pilot project was launched last April, the city has doled out grants for either rental arrears or rental deposits to 1,744 households who were able to avoid eviction, an increase of 594 compared to 2020. Toronto Acorn member Kiri Vadivilu said this program has been vital for keeping a roof over people's heads. The last 2 years, we've seen several evictions that have gone through the landlord and tenant board, and how that could have been saved had there been even temporary reliefs to assist tenants, he told. The Planning and Housing Committee is considering making the rent back into a permanent grant-based program while also making some operational adjustments, including forgiving some or all of the loans previously issued. According to city staff, funding for the rent bank in 2023 and subsequent years will include $1.9 million from the city funds and $3 million from the provincial homelessness prevention program. The grants for rental arrears are up to $4,000 or 3 months' rent, whichever is the lower amount, while grants for rental deposits are broken down based on the size of the rental unit. York Southwestern, Toronto Centre, and Scarborough Centre were the areas where most grants were handed out.
Federal government announced funds for women's shelters. The federal government has announced funding to construct and repair hundreds of spaces for women and children fleeing violence. Housing Minister Ahmed Hussein said the government will give over $121 million to build and repair a total of 430 spaces in shelters and transitional housing. The federal government is doing its part. Is there more work to be done? Absolutely. And we're committed to doing that, said Hussein in an interview. The projects will be located across Canada, including Nunavut, Saskatchewan, and Quebec. The money comes from an initiative under the National Housing Co-Investment Fund, previously announced in the 2021 budget. Lise Martin, Executive Director of Women's Shelter Canada, said the funding is welcome and a good start to meet the high demand from women seeking safe shelter. The need is so great, and so this, unfortunately, is like a drop in the bucket, said Martin. Advocates and frontline workers have been sounding the alarm that domestic violence has been on the rise since the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, worsening the already dire shortage of shelter beds for women and children seeking safe places to stay. The funding announced will flow directly to the nonprofit organizations that are running the shelters, said Hussein.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has proposed a ban on buying and selling handguns. Canada's government introduced legislation Monday, June 1st, to implement a national freeze on the sale and purchase of handguns as part of a gun control package that will also limit magazine capacities and ban some toys that look like guns. Prime Minister Trudeau told reporters that new measures were needed as gun violence was increasing.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. As a further part of this new legislation, we're also fighting gun smuggling and trafficking by increasing maximum criminal penalties and providing more tools for law enforcement to investigate firearm crimes. And we'll require the permanent alteration of long gun magazines so they can never hold more than 5 rounds. These are actions that doctors, experts, and chiefs of police have been calling for years, and we're acting on their advice. I also want to thank the advocates, many of whom are here today, for your tireless efforts.
And now we go with Humaira with a COVID-19 vaccination update.
The City of Toronto releases a Pandemic Perspective video series. City of Toronto has launched Pandemic Perspectives, a 4-part vaccine engagement video series that features personal stories of Toronto residents, community-based insights, vaccine information, and resources. The 4 video themes include families, faith leaders, youth, and accessibilities were identified by vaccine engagement teams to focus on communities and equity-deserving groups who continue to be disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic with lower rates of vaccinations and high rates of COVID-19 infections. The videos aim to create a broad understanding, appreciation, and respect for the perspectives of others. By acknowledging the unique challenges many Torontonians face, the video series encourages collaboration and partnership amongst all Toronto residents. Pandemic perspectives will be released weekly beginning today on City's COVID-19 vaccine resource webpage and the City's YouTube channel, as well as all social media platforms. You can watch the video in the link below.
People think of going to uni, they think of it like as a fresh start. They're like, hey, this is a chance for me to go ahead and reinvent myself or be my true self. And like, this time COVID's gonna die down, we're gonna have a normal year. We did not have a normal year.
I never really got that high school experience that every other kid pre-pandemic experienced, and that it was out of my grasp. It just made me a bit sad and depressed.
I did miss out on a lot of stuff that, you know, my mom would always talk to me about being some of the highlights of her life. She always talked about getting to go to prom and go to the dances, go to the different club fairs.
I think COVID was pretty stern on youth.
I feel like I was forced to mature and not be youth and do whatever we want, explore and like have fun. It just really made, personally for me, to just worry about everything. I really wanted to make sure that I was safe and protected, as well as those around me. So
that's when I realized the importance of a COVID vaccine, you know, building herd immunity, just protecting ourselves, because some individuals can't get the vaccine.
And you know that you're able to take the vaccine, but you choose not to. What good are you doing for everyone else? What good are you doing for those that are unable to take the vaccine, that are unable to protect themselves, like you have the chance to?
The vaccine is important for us because it was the only ray of hope, and I think the vaccine is the only way to do that. So if we don't do it, we're just pushing back on the time where we can achieve normalcy.
I believe in the vaccine, and I do believe COVID is real.
So I thought it would be memorable to show the next generations. It gives them insight into what has happened before and how we can move on from this. So like, this is what keeps us going.
That scene in my head, which the crowd of people, you see your friends, you see your family, your grandparents, you have your beautiful dress that you spent months picking out. You go up, you hold that diploma, is that what it is? That paper? I don't even know.
To have that day was very important for me and my parents.
And that's all gone.
I think that just makes me super emotional. I have pride about it.
Yeah, I still wanted to be a kid. I still wanted to just see these new opportunities in front of me and like live as long as I can, like within my youth.
And by you not doing your part, everyone else suffers, you know? It's a team effort. And a lot of people, they forgot about that. They think about me, myself, and I. The world's not like that. If you want to go ahead and help yourself, make sure that you help others as well.
Team Toronto has administered more than 7.1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses. 66% of eligible Torontonians aged 18 and older have now received their third doses. Team Toronto's vaccination efforts have reached two new milestones, administering more than 7.1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses in Toronto since City of Toronto's COVID-19 vaccination campaign started in December 2022, and 2/3 of eligible Torontonian residents aged 18 or older have received their third dose. As of May 26th, more than 89.7% of residents 5 years of age or older have received their first doses, while 86.3% have gotten 2 doses. Toronto Public Health encourages residents to stay up to date with their COVID immunizations, including all booster doses, for the best protection against serious illnesses linked to the virus. Recent data shows that the residents who kept up to date with their vaccinations were better protected against serious consequences linked to the virus when compared to those who were under-vaccinated or unvaccinated. Now to bring to you the vaccination clinics in the neighborhood. Regent Park Vaccination Clinic is now open on Tuesdays from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at 40 Oaks. Appointments are strongly recommended. However, walk-ins are always available and accepted until vaccine supplies last. Both Moderna and Pfizer are available, and for more information, you may visit regionparkchc.org/COVID-19 vaccine clinic. The 40 Oak Clinic is now in the planning phases to do some more vaccination work in partnership with community organizations at Toronto community housing buildings and at private buildings within June. We will share updates once they are fully finalized. The Regent Park Community Health Center will be continuing to bring the Thursday clinic for Regent Park clients and the Low Barrier Clinic. Some more updates is the Sherburne Health and the Corner are leading the pilot for St. Jamestown neighborhood. Together, they are planning to scale up their efforts in establishing IRH and Downtown East in the near future. The 509 is open to clients with disabilities from June 10th to June 17th, and Sunshine Centers for Seniors are open every Wednesday for seniors wellness meetups in Downtown East.
Jabin and Victoria has an update on events and jobs in Regent Park.
And now for events in Regent Park. Daniels TCHC and Community Safety Partners brings you the Regent Park Summer Safety Jam. This event will take place on June 4, 2022 from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Big Park. You will enjoy scheduled activities such as halal barbecue from 12 to 3 p.m. and pizza from 3 to 5 p.m., cricket demo on the athletic grounds from 1 to 3 p.m., neighborhood tours from 2 to 4 p.m. This event will feature Greening Your Community, Square Circle demos, art activities by Benny Bing, bouncy castles, free popcorn and snacks, bazaar, DJ, and live performances, and employment opportunities. Hope to see you there. Butterflies and Blooms in Regent Park invites you to join the Dundas East Beautification Project. The Beginning Spring Project is to plant flowers in the raised planters on the south side of Dundas from Sumac to Pashler. The big planting will be on Saturday, June 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will also be a street celebration with food, music, balloons. Hope to see you there. The City of Toronto, in partnership with the neighborhood group TNG, has launched the second round of the Toronto Downtown East Resident Grant. Resident-led groups located in Downtown East area can now apply for up to $8,000 to fund your resident-led initiative. To be successful, your project should demonstrate alignment with at least one of the following priorities: building strong and resilient communities, creating inclusive, supportive community networks, improving spaces and safety through the community action. The City of Toronto and TNG will be hosting a virtual info sessions on June 9th at 1 p.m. For more information, please visit Downtown East Resident Grants 2022, thetrustyhub.ca. If you have any questions about the Downtown East Resident Grants, you can contact Bjorn at the email below and Lindsay Jackson at lindsay.jackson@toronto.ca.
Jobs and trainings in Regent Park. Are you interested in media arts and broadcast journalism? Focus Media Arts Center is hiring summer community media broadcast journalists for Radio Regent and Regent Park TV. Preferred candidates should have an interest in media arts and be familiar with the Regent Park area for 6 summer job positions from July 11th to August 26, 2022. 30 hours a week, 15 hourly. You will produce journalistic videos and radio podcasts, conduct interviews about issues in the neighborhood, and gain awesome new media skills. Send resume before June 17th, 2022. Residents of Regent Park are prioritized. To apply, please send a cover letter along with your resume to info@focusmediaarts.ca. Applications for 2022 Humber scholarships are now open. Are you interested to pursue a career in public relations? Humber is offering several scholarships that are only available to Bachelor of Public Relations. The criteria for each of these scholarships are different, but most are based on application as opposed to grades. Students can apply for scholarships between $2,000 and $3,000 who self-identifies as a racialized person and demonstrate financial need.
To access the public relations specific scholarships, students must first apply to the program through the Ontario Colleges website, www.ontariocolleges.ca. The program code is 2221. The application is now open through the spring until this fall. If you need help, contact the Bachelor of Public Relations Program Coordinator Anne-Marie Males at annemarie.males@humber.ca. To ensure the success of the ARAP project, they are seeking 7 resident volunteers and/or community organizations who will bring expertise, dedication, lived experience, and vision to the project. This will be a great opportunity to learn, connect, and advocate for anti-racism and trauma-informed community building and engagement, as well as community healing.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Jabin, and my co-hosts are Victoria, Humaira, and Fred. We would also like to thank our team of researchers that contributed for this week's show, and from our studios at Focus Community Arts Center. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you never miss out on any of our content. If you'd also like more, you can find us on our other social media platforms. And if you want even more, you can look at our website.